These are the best strikers if you're on a budget. Every single player under 100,000 coins. Shall we begin? We have Broken, Rank 1, Foot Champs, Debatable, and the Pine. Run up those comments. Let's get to it. Adriana, not that impressed. Was a cheap SBC, but you get what you pay for, and there's fraudulent activity. From 74 to 91, I'm not a believer. Antonio to the debate, big, physical, brawly, ready to go, happy for the item, but I don't know that he's making it into your rotation. Aubameyang still got that sweat factor. Toss him into Foot Champs. Balotelli, if you have been watching the channel, he crushes it for yours truly. I loved his earlier item, the 86, next to nothing. I evoed him. Now we have the team of the season. Based on the selection of players and my personal experience, Balotelli's been broken for yours truly. Right now, weekend league, I can bring them into motion. Kareem the Dream, good value. Really enjoy the balance that you receive, the passing, the hold-up play, the skills, or the weak foot. You make the choice. Good body type, can do things in the air, has an aerial presence. Berbatov, I love this item. Only fantastic experiences across the board. Just a phenom, good footwork, first touch, premium quality. The same can be said about what's happening in the office space, and nearly everything is Elgato. That's linked down below if you want to make a pickup. Highly encouraged, suggested. I got the cosign. Bird Camp, fun to use. I would recommend. We've got some improvements there, but Foot Champs for now. Boniface, also Foot Champs. Lob City, if you're trying to dunk on somebody, he has that capability. Good upgrade, good team of the season. Miguelito, feel like I just made him into some sort of beverage. Debatable, depending who's using him, maybe a case to get into the weekend. If you're looking for an Albanian, you've got an option here. And again, knockdown style player, has a finesse shot for a playstyle plus. Just a nice little helper. What do we do with Cantona? He has been absolutely official, but the item is dated. I'm not sure if you can get away with the 89 even for the weekend right now. Charlton, at least Foot Champs. Correa's footwork, disgusting. Put him into rank 1. Was an SBC, so if you have not completed, won't be accessible as we're recording. Courtois, we saw him in action for a little while, but there's so many players that do what he does better. I'm just going to toss him to the Pine. My apologies. If you want a vintage throwback, by all means. De Jong, I'm leaning on the debate. Again, if you're looking for that slam dunk, alley-oop, knockdown procedure, he can do that job, but there are better players available even at the lower price points. Del Piero, it hurts my heart. Debatable. Some of these icons, I don't think you're going to be able to work with them. Even this Drogba, I would send you to the Golasso or even the newest of iterations. The 91 doesn't carry the same weight. Butragueno's dribbling might be good enough to keep him into a Foot Champ scenario, depending on the other players around him. Eto'o, you're going to have better options. Morientes, I think he's now a little bit dated. Brand spanking new, like this. And you're not paying an arm and a leg. You have a little bit of versatility as a striker or center forward. I think you'd be forcing it if you go into the midfield. Too heavy with the Uruguayan. She's cool if you're looking for maybe a pro clubs type of feel. 5-star weak foot, but you don't need her. Ginola, I'll hear your other arguments and cases, but for what he's already accomplished, and the 89, the 90, the 92, the presence that he has on the pitch, I don't want to see the 89. Might sound crazy, but I'm putting him into broken for now. Griezmann for the weekend. Albert up top. I don't see it happening. I know, 94 in the Pine. It's fake stats. The dribbling is a lie. Gonna have some trouble going coast to coast, but debatable is fine. Holland's in form. I'm leaning towards a rank 1, but realistically, this price point, he has to be broken again because of the dynamic of changing the game, the physicality, the knockdowns, the jumping, the acrobatics, the finishing. There's a presence, and you have to shift the way that you play the game. Hegerberg, we'll go debatable. I don't think you need her. Aspis, he did get minutes. That 91 did at one point, but it's not this point of the title. And I feel bad for Aspis because he's been consistently reliable on the actual pitch, and he's almost been equally as consistent being a player that under-delivers on the virtual pitch. It's not right. Icardi, broken. At this budget point, you get a double 5-star. You've got Travella. You have finesse shot. What's right is right. James, we might be forcing it, but I'll give her a debatable. João Pedro deserves some sort of mention. I'm just tossing him into the debate as well. I don't know that he deserves it present day, but that was such an early iteration, an early item, and he lived up to so much hype at that point. Harry Kane can finish, but you have to build an entire team around him just to have a chance to use him, and he's not going to be a detriment to the squad, which I don't like, so he's going to the Pine. There's no turn and burn. Triple play style is nice. Get her into the weekend league. What do we do with Keane? I don't know that he can make his way in. It hurts. I feel as if EA could have done better. One of the better finishers throughout the history of his career. Absolute goal-scoring threat. Sam Kerr. Good money, still a problem, might even be broken. We're gonna truly review these top couple sections. Miroslav, it's a big upgrade, better than he's been, but it wasn't enough. Lacazette, the 90s, not moving the room for me. Lewandowski at a 95, which I almost can't believe. As we're recording, he is 99,000 coins. Might be a little bit lackluster, ask some questions for the counterattack, but anything that involves finishing, long shots, both feet, he can do it. Lineker, I don't love him. I'm sorry. Malin's had a decent track record this year. I don't know if the 91 gets in or not. I still think he falls into more of a debatable. Mane, give him some minutes, you'd be surprised. Prices also came down dramatically. Martine, she's decent, but debatable it is. We're going to Georgia. Numbers might be a little bit iffy. Alex Morgan, rank 1. Yes, ma'am. I've had an absolute stellar time using her, all of the versions and iterations. Highly recommended. Thomas Muller, about time he got an item where he can make something happen. Still more true to being, I would say, a striker or a center forward than an attacking mid or a midfielder, just based on the item. Muller, you're not going to need him, not this version. And Kunku will get you for the weekend. He's got you covered. Okafor probably does enough for the weekend as well. I don't know if he's going to move the needle for you. If anything, maybe more of a super sub. I'm not the best with Osimhen, but when I go up against him, people know what they're after. They know how to utilize. They get you on the counterattacks. If anything, he'd be an upgraded version of an Aubameyang at this point of the game, if you want to compare and contrast. Able to hit the counterattacks, find the gaps. Not the best dribbler. I don't care about the stat upgrades. That's just the reality. But anything with a 1v1, and he's proven. He's got that track record. He can make that rapid bit of separation. She's going to the debate. Lucas Podolski, his shot power alone makes him fun. If you're able to get it on that left peg, but he's not really next level. He's kind of a specialist, and at best, it feels like he should be in the debatable. Pop, I believe, will surprise you. She might be cuspy with rank 1. If you can get the 97, even a better or more pleasant surprise, I do believe it'll cost you 2 or 3 times the price, leaning more on 3. But I feel comfortable putting her into a weekend. Kristen Press, do I have a bias? Maybe. But she's getting the weekend league, has 5-star skills, which is a lovely touch. Prince, also good enough for the weekend. Puskas for the weekend, even though, again, those original icons, I don't want to say they're dying with usability, but they're definitely not what they once were. Raul's probably not at that level. We're going to move him into the debate. Marcus Rashford, you'd have to do some sort of Evo or other improvements. I think you're stretching to put him into a weekend league currently with an 88. Russo might surprise you, but I'm struggling to get her into a higher tier. Hugo Sanchez for the weekend. Appreciate that upgrade from EA. Josh Sargent. Unfortunately, that won't be getting an upgrade, I don't believe. If it was dealing with the Panama matchup. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to talk about it. Stick is not going to help you, for being honest. I might need to tighten up a little bit. I've been friendly in this video. As a reminder, don't go anywhere. End of the video, we will have a full review. Always has plenty of movements. The double 4-star is a killer, but a 95, you've got too many stats to not give the Germans some sort of appreciation. Mushesco up the mark. I'd say rank 1 again with this budget. Good play styles between finesse shot, aerial, and technical. I like that as a collective personally. Smith and I have had a fantastic relationship all year. I don't know if you can get her into the weekend. It's dated, but she's done a lot. The same with Sophia Smith. This 89 has been something special. Had that itch, that aura, but not now. Sorloth to the top. I used Sorloth last weekend, and he still got busy. 20 games, even coming off the bench in some of those matchups, scored 20 goals. Stoichkov, underrated icon, but a lot of players better. Carlos Tevez, it's wild that he's came down this far. I'm struggling to get him out of the weekend. I think he still has to be there. Trezeguet, it's a nice gesture. We're putting him into foot champs. A lot of upgrades, but he's still going to be a little clunky with the movement, the side to side. He's still not going to be a wonderful passer. That's just the reality. Schuker, I got a bias, but I'm going rank 1 at least. I might want to push him even up into the conversation about being a little more on the broken side of things. Van Basten's not making it into your squad. You can't tell me different. Van Nistelrooy is better than Van Basten. So with that logic, I'm going into the debate. RVP's done some things. This was a sleeper item. You know, the Dutchman might persuade me to get into FUT Champs, so we're leaving that here. Jamie Vardy should really be faster. I'll just throw that out there from EA. John Luca's not playing now. I'm sorry. Also not playing. Voller, you're probably forcing it, but I'll give him a debate. Ollie Watkins might be a little slept on. I played at least one weekend league full when that item initially came out and was released. Lynn Williams, more or less into the debate. We got to get a rank 1 for my man Righty, finally with some upgrades. And even that Zola, the 91, clear for rank 1. Depending on the time period, I might have him a little bit higher. He's one of those icons where as the game patched and updated, I almost feel as if EA just made him a little worse. I don't know why. Nothing changed with the stat lines or ability, but doesn't move and impact the same way that he once did. So you could say it's just the collective of other players getting upgraded, but I got my own question marks and maybe a little precedence. Shall we review? And as per usual, you can't get out of the pine. If anything, I'm going to add to it. My apologies ahead of time, but we're going to start dragging some players. Cantona can keep his position. She's going down. Del Piero up front is not giving you anything with 83 pace. Muller's not giving you anything at this point either. Cantona won't move for me. No chance. Rude's got something for the weekend. I'm telling you, Podolski's going to limit you, even though he's got that killer peg. Got that killer lefty. João Pedro at this point, I almost was trying to give him more credit based on what he's already accomplished, but maybe that's not right. That's not fair. Even Drogba, the 91 is not going to really fit the status that we're currently in. Is anyone from FUT Champs going down? Griezmann's an odd player. I don't know if you could play him as a true striker. He's almost more of a cam or a secondary striker. Some sort of support player in this version, in this variation. I'm going to take my American bias and move Sargent down to debatable, which is probably more than likely what you expected to see if you took that out of the equation. Pop, I told you go for the 97 if you can afford it. Jamie Vardy's shown me enough. Mane's shown me enough. Could be against the grain. I know she's a 94, but I have a feeling more of you will be comfortable in the debate. I want to move one more name. Prince, it's coming down. Even with all the upgrades, we're going to slaughter into debatable. Let's get to the front 3. Does anyone from FUT Champs move up? I'm not so sure about that. Christian Press might have a case somewhere. Boniface has a good track record. Schuker, I believe, should go up at this budget. Alex Morgan's an interesting selection because if you double the price scenario or the budget, you can go ahead and get her 96, which would be what I would push. That's the agenda. I like what I'm seeing with the top-heavy group here. I kind of believe in what's on display. Correa is really good. Berbatov, at least when I'm using them or how I'm using them, incredible, amazing. I think I have to be authentic to me. He's right up there with Balotelli for yours truly. So let's order the broken category with priority. Sorloff, I hope you completed. Lewandowski's a little more balanced. Holland is a game changer. Schuker is giving you a little bit of everything. He's going to keep it funky. I love Balotelli. I have the same sort of appreciation with Berbatov. I'm going to move Ginola to the back end of broken. I don't want to take him out of that category, but there's been a lot of players and upgrades, even him individually, where you might have more of a priority, but I think the fear factor, the danger that he causes, this is still right. And what's right is right. You can tell me if you agree or you disagree, but as always, I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.